witches, it's downpouring. Totally, completely downpouring here in Massachusetts. Totally bad weather, and I'm driving. I hate driving in the rain. Let me just say that. But I love the rain. I love when it's stormy weather and it's like pouring rain. Because it makes me think of Harry Potter movies for some reason. I love having Harry Potter marathons when it's like thunderstorming and raining, and I bake Hagrid's rock cakes and treacle tart and all the fun recipes that I have in my Harry Potter cookbook. So being a witch, I love intense weather. I used to love going outside in the rain when I was a kid. My kids do the same thing. They like to jump on the trampoline when it's raining. And I was never afraid to get dirty as a child. Always barefoot in the summer. I used to love the feeling of my feet in the wet dew in the morning grass. I would find my way through swamps and climb across rivers with logs and all of that. I've always been totally in tune with nature, as most of us have, being witches. I think it just calls to us. I really believe that people are meant to be witches deep down in their souls. I honestly believe that it's just something that we're born with, and you can choose to ignore it. You can choose to try to fit in other, other areas of life and ignore the witchiness in you, but I don't think it ever goes away. I've experimented with different religious practices and all of that, but deep down inside, I think I've just always been a witch since I was a child. I remember being little, and my mom would take the big box of Halloween stuff out. She would take it out way before Halloween, and I would go downstairs and turn off all the lights, and I would just play witch. I would be a witch, and I would take out all the Halloween stuff and just play for hours and hours and hours, and that was like my favorite time of the year. And even in the summer, I used to have a kind of like a long sundress I would put on, very witchy-like, and I would make potions. I would get little jars, and I would put like all kinds of little things in them and stir it up and make my potions, and pretend I was this witch living out in the wilderness. And I would forage around in the forest. I don't know how I got away with going so far into the woods. My mom must have not known I was going that far, but I used to go through the woods all the way. 6 houses away from me was my grandmother's house, and I would go through the woods behind everybody's houses all the way till I could see my grandmother's house. And it was so wonderful being out in the woods. I just felt so at peace and so at home there. And I could feel the spiritual connection. I felt that connection with the energy of the earth and of the animals, and I learned to know when something was running through the woods that was a danger to the other animals, because I would hear the birds start calling like warning signals and stuff if there was ever like a cat or a fox or something. And I kind of learned the language of the forest, and I learned something like when a caterpillar's climbing up the tree, you know it's going to rain, versus when it's going down the tree. It might be the other way around, I don't remember now. I used to have all these little things that my grandfather taught me that were like farmers' tricks for how to predict the weather. Like when the cows are sitting down, you know it's going to rain. And the way it gets really quiet right before a storm. I think that's incredibly beautiful time when everything gets really quiet right before a storm. And I'm in a storm right now that's really pretty awful. It is just so bad driving right now. And I'm sitting here making a video. I probably shouldn't be, but that's okay. I'm just pretending that you guys are driving in the car with me and I'm talking to you. So, yeah, this weather makes me think of all those things. I just wish I wasn't driving. But, I've never been one to be afraid to, you know, jump into a pond up to my knees or even my thighs and get right in there. Catch those frogs and toads like I did a few weeks ago. They're still very happy in my pool. The little froggy frogs. I ordered a book about a week or two ago, and it was called Witch's Kitchen, and I thought it was a kitchen witch cookbook, you know, like the many that I already have, but it wasn't. It was a kid's book about a toad who gets trapped in a witch's kitchen, and this kitchen is like a magical place that literally transforms all the time. It never stays the same, and there's all these weird creatures in there, like things that have knives for arms and legs and stuff, and they're hairy with these human eyes, and all these really just awful, scary creatures. And the artwork in this book is really cool, but I didn't realize it was a kid's book, but I started reading it anyway because it's pretty interesting and it is very witchy. Hopefully one of my kids will read it. I only paid 99 cents for it, plus a couple dollars for shipping. So it was worth the price, I think. So I just wanted to make a video and say hi. I haven't made one in a while. And I haven't been doing too many witchy things because it's the waning moon. And, oh, this was actually what I wanted to talk about, was something to do with money magic. Be very careful in doing money magic in how you word it, because sometimes people with good intentions do a spell and they request for their debt to be gone or to eliminate all of their bills, not realizing that when you word it that way or when you put it that way, sometimes there's bills that you don't even remember that you have, or that have been, forgotten about, or left outstanding, or have lost your address, or whatever. And people have been known to do these kind of spells, and then suddenly, people that they loaned money to 20 years ago suddenly come calling and want the money back, and, a bill from when you lived in another state 10 years ago suddenly finds you, and so forth. When you thought you only had a couple $1,000 on a credit card or something, and come to find out you have all kinds of bills and debts unpaid that you had completely forgotten about. And that's how sometimes spell work can come back to bite you in the butt. So, I just wanted to put that out there because I've been doing a lot of real contemplation on what I am planning to do for future spell work, and money is always one that I struggle with because it's a difficult subject. I never have enough, but I'm always hesitant to do spell work. I try to use that as only the last resort. And when it comes to thinking about the wording of it, you have to be really careful. Okay, guys, what's it be?